in my bid to keep you updated, I'm going to do a short video, hopefully a short video. I'm not very good at doing short videos. I kind of get carried away with things like I'm about to do now. I'll show you some of the plants in this border. They're looking great. The phylloxerums are doing really well this year. There you go. It's looking lush. There's all sorts of different plants starting to flower now. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. We've had quite a lot of rain today. This afternoon, mainly. But this morning, I started something that I said I was going to leave for a while, as you probably assumed I would. Or I assumed I would anyway. I knew I would, to be honest. I just can't leave it alone. So the Japanese style border, I think I'll call it for now, I've made a start. So I took a bit of time doing this, and I've mainly just removed plants and repositioned them in other borders, or some of them in other borders. I took out the big Mahonia as I said I would, or as I said I was going to. Well, I have now. And I don't like to take out plants just for the hell of it, but sometimes you've got to. There it is. And it was a bit of a challenge taking this out, I can tell you. It wasn't easy at all. The one thing about Mahonias is they have this lovely, I would say that's almost cork-like bark. And I've been looking at this since I took it out, and I'm thinking that I just might remove all the branches that are live, and I might keep that as part of the Japanese style border. I might include it somewhere. I don't know. Maybe it'll never make it, but we shall see. But it would be really nice to include that in some form or fashion. I would have to take off the roots though. I can't keep them. I don't think they're going to be good. They're not good enough to make any kind of impact to themselves because they're too small, so they just need cutting off. But to keep the actual bark itself, I think would be quite interesting once all that new leaf is being taken away. So those three tools there is exactly where the Mahoney was. I didn't put them there purposefully. I just dropped them there when the rain started. So I've cleared a lot of stuff away. And this border has changed over time. I've changed it into that many different types of borders that I've kind of lost count of what I've done with it. But last week, I decided it was going to be a Japanese style garden, or a couple of weeks ago, I think, more likely. I did my best not to actually start any work on this because I've got the garden open in July, just for one day, and I wanted to keep it for that. So I should really have kept it, but you know what I'm like, I like to get stuck in. I was a bit bored today and I thought, let's get some plants out, so I'll just take some of the plants out. Now, there's two plants here, this being one of them, and this is hydrangea, and it's a quercifolia type, and one called burgundy, and it's absolutely fantastic. I do really like this one now, and it is starting to go burgundy, as its name suggests. So the one behind it, that's Ace of Baihu, I believe. I'm going to check my records, and I will put that up on screen if it is. Hopefully it is. Now that's a wonderful autumn colour, and it goes a really vivid yellow and a bright orange. It goes all sorts of colours. So that should look good. As autumn approaches now, it's got to 2 foot, 2.5 foot now, so I've got to remove it. It's in the wrong place. It can't stay there. It's got to go. As of yet, I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. I've been mulling around this area for the last couple of hours since I actually did it after the rains had stopped. I came back out, the sun's come out, and I've been walking around thinking, what can I do? So what I do is I take my time. I don't just rush into these things. I take my time and work out whether something should go or whether it should stay. So this big massive barrel, I said I'd probably keep as part of the area. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'd like to keep it because I want to be a little bit wacky with that. And it's not exactly Japanese style, but I think it would look good. I think it would look nice in the actual makeup of this border. And if I am going to use it, it's going to be back there where I've actually taken out some of the bank. So you can probably just make out that there's a bit of a bank there, and that did come all the way down to the mahogany. I actually put all that soil in there because this garden dropped quite a depth here. So hopefully it will go there. Hopefully, we don't know. Still waiting, still making decisions. Now that bit of wood that I talked about before, or that little base, which was put there originally to put a seat on for Kathy for a swing seat, it never materialised. So that's why I built the arbour seat, which is behind it, which is that one there. And I love that section. And I'll come to that in a minute. I've got something I'm going to tell you about that little section. But before I tell you that, talk about this little bit. So this little bit now, I've painted it a black colour. It's more grey, to be honest. It needs another coat. Well, it's more brown, actually, looking at that. And the only paint I've got is a grey, which has caused that. So I'm gonna see if I can get a better paint for that. And I've painted it black because I want it to stand out as almost a feature in itself. And then hopefully, if things go to plan, the front section of this seaty bit, this bit here, that bit there, I'm going to paint that red. I'm going to paint that black. And that should give it a kind of a Japanese feel, because I've done a lot of studying, or I'm doing a lot of studying at the minute on Japanese gardens, and I see that they use those colours quite a lot. The Acer behind is looking fantastic now. Actually, it looks better than ever now. Now I've exposed it by removing things, it just looks great. So I must be careful not to actually spoil that by including too many things in this border. I think this needs to be pared down, and by that I mean not put as much stuff in. I am going to include a lot of gravel, and I really want to get hold of some massive cobbles, and I will disclose that at the time I build it. If it actually happens, I'll let you know why I want to get loads of cobbles. Now, I've come across a kind of a slab that I think is ideal to make some sort of a water feature out of. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop a little section out of it, if it will work. I don't know if it will yet, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a sunken feel. So it'll almost be like that. It'll actually be acting like that, but it will be this little slab I've found, and it's quite deep. I think it's about 4 inches, maybe even 5 inches. And I will scoop out a little bit of it, and then that'll be my little water feature, because Japanese gardens do have water in them. They like to have water. I've been reading up on it. It says you must include water. So include water I must. Now, one of the other ideas I'm going to do is, I'm thinking about this actually at the minute. Now, this is a broken plant pot, and I've had it around for quite some time now, and I'm going to dig it in as if the tree has been in that pot but fallen over. I don't know whether I'll carry that out yet, but I hope to. But we shall see, because things do change, as you know, as we go along. You get fresh ideas as you start building these things. Now, going back to Kathy's arbour seat, which is up there, I think I'm going to paint this side of it black. So all this section here, all that's going to be black. The left and the right, I'm going to put them red. And the roof bit there, I'm probably going to paint that red. Hopefully. I don't know 100% yet whether I'm going to do that, but hopefully that's what I'm going to do. Now, the other day, we was doing something where I work, and the chap who was digging out the ground for us found this, and he knows what I'm like. He knows I like wacky things. And this is a massive, I don't even know what it is. I think it's an ironstone. And when he found it, I thought, I know what I'm going to do with that, or I at least know where I'm going to put it. And that is in the Japanese style border. I think it's going to go in there. I've also got this slab, for want of a better word. I can't even remember where I bought that from or where I got it from or what I bought it. I can't remember where that came from either, but I've got an idea for that as well. And again, I've painted that section as well because this is all part of it. Now, one good thing I've got at the minute is this Hakanakloa, and it's Aureola. And that will look good in the Japanese garden. And I've also got this Epimedium called Epimedium Ubei, which should be okay here. Now, as you can see from that section, that was my original kind of nod, as I've said many, many times, to a Japanese style garden. The little tea house there and the 3 rocks could end up being part of the new bit, so I could end up putting them down. And to be quite honest, I think it would look better if I did move them. And I've read up that actually this section here, these are used quite often next to water features. So I'll probably put it next to that little stone thing that hopefully I'll make, and it should look a lot better. And then it would pay me then to move those 3 rocks there. And although they look great at the moment, I think they'll look better if I can integrate them into this border. Now, we've got this bamboo in here, and I've had this bamboo here from day one, I think. And I put it there deliberately because when we was going to have a swing there, I wanted to have that feeling of privacy. And it would just look good. And I've left it there, never took it out, just left it there. And it does look good. It's a fantastic one, this particular one. And I showed you how to clear the bottom of that to make it look nicer. And this particular one is called Thamnocalmus crassinodus, and it's called Q Beauty. It's got lots of new growth at the minute, actually. Now, one of its failings at the minute is that it's dropping away into the path. So it's coming across. We had some rain earlier, it fell right into the path. Just the weight of the water on the leaves, really, was making this come right down over like that. I've got an idea how to maintain it, or how to contain it, how to keep it upright. And all that will be revealed. I've done that before. I've actually used bits of wood, well, round posts before, to actually try and keep that upright. Actually, it looks fantastic like that at the moment because the wind's just blown it upright, so it looks fantastic. And I do love bamboos. This is a strictly clump forming bamboo. You know I don't get bamboos that run. Now, I've got another bamboo in another part of the garden that I kind of like to use here. It's a smaller bamboo, but I think it might look good in here. So where I'm going to put that bamboo, I do not know yet. I'd like to use it here. I don't know if I will use it here, but I would like to use it here if I can, if space allows. And one of the areas while I'm on film is it could look good up there on that bank. So it could look good there because it is only a small bamboo. I can cut that edge back really tight. I can take that back a couple of feet should I need to. So that would look good. And then especially when that little feature is painted black, it should look really nice. It should set it off. It should be beautiful. So this is Acer Grisium, the paperbark maple, and I am obviously going to keep this in this section. I'll probably play about with the understory. I might do some under there. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep those hostas there. I'm not sure at the moment. I think I can come up with something better than that. You never know. But I don't think I will because of the slug problems we have up here. Now behind that, there's Begonia. You can see the other plant, that's just Begonia cordifolia. I do believe it was here when we moved in. It was down the side of the hedge, exactly where it is at the moment. It's never moved. I've never taken it out. I've chopped bits off of it from time to time. But I'm going to leave it because I think it'll look good. Now it would be nice, if I can, it'd be nice to try and create some sort of an entrance to this. And I've toyed with a couple of ideas. One being a moon gate that we all have heard about in this section. So actually in a sort of a moon gate shape. Not 100% sure on that one at the moment because I think I'm going to go too much against what's already here. So we'll do some thinking about that. And I think, yeah, I've got another idea, but I don't want to really explain what that is at the moment because it's quite complex. So you'll just have to wait for that. So it's looking good at the moment. The clear out has begun. I have moved a couple of plants. In fact, I think I moved 4 or 5 plants out of here. There have been a lot of plants that were growing in here that were, well, really weeds. And we've moved all those. These 2 plants, as I said earlier, I do want to use these 2. I want to use the Acer and I want to use the hydrangea, if I can. And I'm sure I can. But I'm conscious that I need to keep it sort of yin and yang, for want of a better term, because yin and yang is black and white, and I need to keep areas that are open. And this has got to be this area. This has got to be cleverly done. So less is more in this case. It should look great. Now this has actually turned out to be a bigger area than I'd realised. I knew it was a big area, but it's actually turned out to be bigger. And part of that is when I dug that bank back. It looks great. I love it. I love that bank just as it is actually, but it won't stay like that. It will have some sort of planting on it, and it will look good. And as I said, I will use this. I love it. I love this thing. I think it's brilliant. And I think that's going to look good once I've stripped it back, got rid of all this greenery. Fantastic. And do we put the barrel in? I don't know. I really honestly don't know at the minute, but I am favouring using it simply because I want to be a little bit more wacky with this. So it will be Japanese in essence, but with a little bit of a Richard Chuck twist to it. And hopefully that will look good. So the next move will be tomorrow. I'm gonna, well, depends when you view this, but I'm gonna have another go at this tomorrow. I'm actually going to visit a very, very good garden up on the Lincolnshire Wolds where I live. There's one not too far from me that's opening tomorrow, and I like to support them all, so I'm going to support that opening. And then when I get back, hopefully, I'm going to make another little bit of a move around in here. I'll clear some of the rubbish away. Typically, I've left all the tools out, but I did get caught in a massive downpour, so I had to do a bit of a runner. I found a plant here that I've got to identify. It's not just the ordinary Solomon seal. This is one that I bought that is a bit special. I know it looks a bit drastic leaving it like that, but it will be fine. It'll be fine. It won't die. And tomorrow that'll go back into some sort of a pot or into another part of the garden. So I think actually, it might, looking at it, I always have ideas when I'm filming these. And actually, once I've removed that barrel to the back, this could almost be an entrance itself. That would be quite interesting. I could form some kind of a structure here, sort of a gateway in, which would look nice. But I won't be walking in this. This will be a border that will only be walked on when we need to do some sort of a maintenance on parts of it. And we will need to do maintenance on the plants and little bits and bobs that probably I'll have fresh ideas and want to make it better. You know what I'm like. And that should be good. So, all exciting. I'm well excited, actually. And it should look good. And it's all down to this Acer, this wacky Acer, that I decided I was going to create some sort of a Japanese style border, and that will really set it off. This will be the little star plant, I think. But who knows, over time, something else might take over and look better. Who knows? Okay. We'll leave it at that, and I'll keep you informed and keep you updated as I build it. I'll talk to you on the next one. Ta-da!